Hi, peoples. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Carla Holland Strange. I actually did a podcast, or I uploaded one already this morning, but it wasn't an introductory one. And for the ones that don't know me, then I'm probably going to be a hard swallow. I am a spiritualist, a sensualist, a chef, an artist, a witch, and I actually fight or expose as much corruption in small towns as I find. Corruption in the government, law enforcement, and also, believe it or not, your favorite non-profits. I'm not anti-non-profit, by the way, or police force or government. I'm just anti-corrupt, greedy, bastard type corruption. Since about 2009, my life has been a roller coaster of drama, trauma, and all of the above. It started with my awakening. When I talk about awakening, a lot of you will know if you are of the spiritual mind. It is when we start seeing things for the way they really are instead of that veil that hangs over us as in a cloud. We also, most of us, will start gaining what they would call supernatural abilities. There's not a lot of old ones. They mainly showed themselves in the children. From about 1977 on, every every 10, 3 would be born with what they would call supernatural powers, gifts, whatever. I prefer abilities because that's all it is. It's abilities. No better, no worse than anybody else. I unfortunately have 10. I can heal. I can feel what's about to happen. I can feel the spirits. I see lies and injustice, and they just all unravel for me, just like cords. Big old ball of cords, and I just bounce in my head, hands, and I hum, and they fall apart. That's what happens with the knowledge as I get. One girl told me one time, she said, Carla, when you tell me those stories, I really think you were crazy. She said, but every damned one of them has come true. I said, I know. They always were true. Did you know that? Remember when the Korean missile misfired? Within 4 minutes beforehand, I saw the conflict or virus go across and crash my computer. When I'm calling everybody, nobody's believing me. Nobody wanted to admit that a massive virus had gone through our internets. 5 years later, they acknowledged the conflict. And I still believe that it activated the misfiring of the missiles. Shit happens. I see numbers every day, and I used to go rush out and buy a lottery ticket like everybody else would. But eventually, after years and years and years, I realized to watch the paper the next day or the news, it would be the deaths, the death tolls it would be published in the news. I I'm going to be playing a bunch of my old videos, and I want you to watch them. They go back to 2009. I want everybody, after each video, to guess what year that video was. I want you to also notice that I look severely different in every video. In fact, my behavior and my attitude are all different in every video. Anything that can be done to a person has been done to me. You know the thing about Cain's children of Cain? Just don't kill them. You can do anything else you want to them. That's a lie. Throughout this time, as I awakened, I actually met others that didn't even know what they were. Have you ever had you met someone and it was just like, I'm in love with that person. I just know it. I just know it. But you don't realize that most of that time they are a spiritual self. In other words, you are attracted to who they are as one of us. Believe it or not, you won't even be watching this unless you are one of us. And you'll fight it. But I would rather someone have to listen and hate what they're hearing rather than believe that the things that's going on with us are our mind slipping or going crazy. I believe that most psychological diagnoses are actually past lives and past experience. Our body isn't all that has memory. Our souls have memory. And in the shift, we're all awakening to those memories. I can guarantee you that if a serial killer was a serial killer here in the next life, he's going to be just as evil unless he's been coming back and learning from his experiences, like most of us have tried to do. And we, when you meet someone and you actually feel like you've known them forever, what you're recognizing is a member of your soul family. Even if it's someone you meet and you hate instantly, it's still your soul family. You have probably spent the last couple of lifetimes at war with each other, but they're your soul family. They're part of you and part of your strength. Love them or not, it doesn't matter. There was an actress that I was never a big fan, but in my heart, I knew she was my sister. I knew I loved her and I cared about her. And I worried about her. Didn't watch any of her shows, but I just worried about her. I have an enemy right now that I see is scandalous as hell. But I know that she's my sister too. This is a time for her to learn to accept. Because she's had to deal with her own abilities by herself without anyone to share it with. Even large families that actually do all have the ability, which most of the time that's not going to happen. Most of the time there will be a few, and then you end up separating from the ones that don't. It's sad, but it's to wean you before the pain hits. But a lot of our kind have actually had to do a lot to survive because we've always been targets. We will always be targets until we join together because the other side sees us for who we are and they want us out of the way before we have knowledge and strength because we are stronger than hell. We can make anything happen that we would choose and want. I was 5'9", dark red hair, and dark green eyes. I am 5'6", blonde hair, and this is no roots, blue eyes. I always weighed about 350 pounds. My bone structure in my face, and there has been no surgery on my face. Other places, yes, but not on my face. Does not match a facial recognition. Our fingerprints change every once in a while. I can heal things. I don't do it as much as I used to anymore because it hurts. And then most people turn around after they get you to do it, and after that you take their pain, they'll blame, oh, it was just false, or the doctor healed me, or whatever, and you just get tired of it. Point is, you got healed. It's electromagnetic energy that passes through my hands, and quite a few people. I haven't seen as many men healers as I have women, and we all don't have the same strength. We have to actually rip it up and learn how to use it. But I have videos of me bringing a dead bird back to life. I wish I hadn't done it. I felt bad about it because it had been eaten up by bugs. But Showtime followed me for a while, and unfortunately, the girl was a new producer and she did not shoot it right. She made it all look foolish when it could have been something that really helped during the COVID and everything else. When I say I'm witch, I'm actually bloodborne. In other words, I didn't choose it. I'm not one of these that in high school I'm studying spells and everything. All I did, I was 15 years Catholic, going to Mass every day. I was told I was Baptist my whole life, but I realized later on now that my family didn't know anything about the Baptist faith. They really didn't. They were through, I mean, all the way to bloodline. But they had to cover so they didn't get burned at stake or whatever. And by the way, people, anybody that gets that idea in their head, it's stupid. Because what happens is if you harm my kind or an innocent, it's going to come back on you and your family for generations. It will not stop with the one you harm. Guaranteed. I am a gray. I don't practice white or dark. I stay in the middle. In other words, I will never attack you. But if you attack me, I'm going to finish you. I may not get monetarily gained by it. I never do, it seems like. But every one goes down. And I never even touch them. I just pray. All I do is ask karma to take care of the wrongs done to me. And they do immediately. It's fair. Because if I'm wrong, nothing will happen. Very rarely am I wrong. I have a great love of animals, as does all of us. Our kind does. Except the dark, I think. The dark does in their way, but they still sacrifice them. Um, when I give sacrifice, I don't hurt an animal. I take something of mine and I give it. Tribute. Tribute. My hair. I cut it off just for tribute. Along with fruits. This is my altar. Not everybody does their altars the same way. Not everybody even has altars. I don't do I don't do anything a normal magical would do, and I don't. That's why I call magicals not witches, because there are all kinds of magicals in this world. We just don't know them. They've been in hiding so long, but lately I've realized that things are opening up in the world. Maybe not in these small towns as much, but they are wide opening up. And unfortunately, the justice side of me and the what's right's right and what's wrong's wrong side of me sees that the corrupt and the evil and the people with no moral code whatsoever in this world, I'm not talking about others, I'm talking about this world, seem to get by and flourish while goody two shoes and people that really ride the moral code, they're targeted. I'm by no means a goody two shoes. I've done porn. I have been a sexual surrogate, sexual therapy, touch therapy, and actually, I've even had to prostitute to survive because the real world would not give me a job any longer of any kind. I applied at McDonald's, and I'm a chef. Couldn't get a job at McDonald's. I got a job at Red Roof here in town. I was so excited, so excited. Told me I was going to make 14 an hour. They paid 10 out of working 16 hours a day for 3 weeks. I made $87. We get screwed over royally all the time. That's why there is strength in numbers. It used to be where they just try to make you sound like you're crazy as hell. Strength in numbers. I still have not got the rest of my pay. They charged me $650 for an out of service room by the week. They fired me because I was moving onto campus and I actually needed money to eat on, so I went to give plasma. And by the way, they never take my plasma. I don't know why. My veins are too small. I myself, and I can't say all of us, but I myself get so enraged that I obsess with the injustice. Especially when I say, and things just, because I think in a different way and I'm very analytical, I discovered so many fake nonprofits in these small towns. And one by one, as I discovered them, researched them, I turned them in. And I will be getting 30% of their money because you got to fight back the way you've got to fight back. And what did Al Capone get finally put away for? Tax evasion. Because no matter how many times you tell a person that it's happening, they're still giving out the money. They're still encouraging and paying for this deed to keep going. And all it is actually the organized crime. It's the mafia of today. They launder money. They run cash through all of these pet adoptions. Because most of the time people don't adopt the dogs. They are sitting out there getting cash donations. And by the way, they usually does not get accounted for. And I remember when dog breeders would set up at Walmart and they would get run off of Walmart parking lot. And then you take a puppy mill, you turn it into a rescue, and then they can go anywhere they want to. And y'all, anybody that watches all my videos, I did my time in rescue. I did 900 dogs in 7 years out of kill floors, ugly, mangy, horrible dogs. I had to have two euthanized out of 900. One poor baby because the distemper was just keeping it racked and I couldn't deal with it anymore. And one Shar Pei that would snap every one of my poodles' necks, and that really freaked me out. Even when the Rottweilers killed Quinn, my pig, I didn't kill him, I didn't hurt him because that was in their nature and she was over there eating with them. My mother didn't forgive him. Now, if Xena eats anything else, like another pair of shoes or anything, being I'm poor and I don't even have money for glasses, then that may be a consideration. But what my podcasts are mainly going to be is I've spent years filming. And maybe with a few of you awakened now, you'll see what I was trying to tell people all along. I am not a mean person. I'm one that's very blunt and sincerely honest. And if I tell you something and I've got all this paperwork in front of you, take time and check it out. I do have to pat myself on the back about one thing. You know, Coach Carter, the famous Coach Carter, the movie. Well, Ken Carter is actually from Marlin, Texas. Well, he went back home and he bought an old abandoned elementary school. Roof caving in, destroyed, just an old, tore up building, really. He started running the Coach Carter Impact Academy. We would, when I lived in Marlin, the neighbors would just sit there and, you ever seen any kids? Nope. You ever seen any kids? Nope. But he was running all the shit all the way across the internet because if you get your donations out of a different state, less likely they're going to actually come and visit your school. Well, when Marlon did so much to me, he was the first one. He was my very first. They haven't finished all of the investigation, but they did pull his nonprofit. How much money did that man collect? You know what? He's an old drunk that fights with his sister all the time. Big hero, huh? Big hero. And yet, when I bought the hospital and I was trying to turn it into people of worth, needed some windows. I was trying to help battered women and the animals in Marlin, Texas. I ended up with both, but I never got windows. I never got any monetary help. And I'm real. The fake ones get it. I'm real. Well, I can't even hardly ask for a ride anywhere because I just know it's going to be a turn down no matter who it is. This is judgment call, people. And your own Bible, it talks about all the spirits and everyone being called together for judgment. End days, you know? Well, you can't do it all by yourself, so you pick certain people to kind of be, oh, I've got, okay, scapegoats or lured in lures for the trap. So how you handle any situation could be that trap. It can it can be showing your mantle as a person, your judgment call. So when you drive by an older woman struggling with her bags, trying to get home out of the heat, are you going to stop? Are you going to offer help at all? Or are you going to drive by? It's your judgment call. Because I can guarantee you, when I struggled year before last, and all those cars drove by, every time they drove by, I just pulled up the bags higher and started stepping because I knew one more bites the dust. I mean, you're not going to go fucking to the hellacious damnation just because you drive by and don't offer aid. But it goes on your permanent record, as the principal would tell you. Everything that is put in front of us is a test. I know you sense it. Everyone thinks the rapture's just going to come swoop them up because they're good on Sundays. Christ love means every day, not Sundays. When you see someone struggling at a cash register trying to find that last couple dollars so that they can get something to eat, and you got a pocket full of money, what do? You stand there and wait while they get more and more agitated and embarrassed? Or do you just tell the cashier I was shocked in Marlin. I had $36 grocery bill in front of me, right? Nobody was ever really good to me in Marlin, ever. Even though I fought for their water and I fought for them, they truly were not ever kind. Except Miss Young. Miss Young, you are a shining angel, and you always will be. If you're not here on earth now, in which I don't think you are, see you. You can come visit me now, in fact. And I loved you. I honored you. Probably did more for that community than anybody ever did. Anyway, I'm standing with $36 worth of groceries, and my debit card's not with me. And I am just so embarrassed, and because I'd already had the most worst things in the world done to me in Marlin. My home had been burnt. I was raped, beaten, thrown 15 feet with all these bones broken on this side. My son and I tortured in jail. I spent nearly 2 years off and on in jail for high grass tickets and abandoned cars. And guess what? I didn't have any grass and I didn't have a car. They just always had something on me. Finally, when I wouldn't shut up my YouTubes, they ended up sending me to prison. And what was my crime? It's embarrassing. Bail jumping. They said I bail jumped on charges that they had dropped. And it didn't matter that I'd had lunch with their mayor the week prior, and he went to where I was living so he could buy my building. They knew all along They just wanted to shut me up. Funny thing is, I was paroled before I even got there, but I still haven't got my name cleared. And their lives will still keep tumbling because of it. That's karma. Always realize that karma will take effect as soon as you ask for it. You have to ask for it daily. You remember who you talk to each day, who you're around, everything, good, bad, and ugly. You write your name down. You ask for karma for all that you have given to me. May it come back to you times three. You list their names, make sure you date it, and put your mark on it. Good people will be rewarded. Bad people will get three times rewarded. I get to watch it every day, and people still will not realize that it's their karma. And what happens is we actually have to be witness or bear witness to their punishment. And sometimes it's really sad because you don't want to call karma on people you love, but they're part of your day and they're part of your life. And people you love fuck you over as much, if not more, than people you don't. At least it hurts more. The bottles and stuff behind me, I paint them. And even though they're pretty, always realize there are blessing bottles back there and there are curse bottles. Because I can't give it the curse. You have to put it, you have to get the right bottle, and then with your punishments, not mine, you can gift it and bring it on to them. Because you're not really as strong to call it by yourself. Now, our youth, the ones that are going through transition and all this awakening and their little abilities are coming in, they're not going to actually understand it, and they really kind of need to be protected from it because it can be dangerous. If you have some of the things like Jeremy and I did, it can get very dangerous. We could start raising our voices and fighting, and shit would fly off the walls and shatter. Uh, they need to be led and protected. And if at any time they are a little out of control, they need to be bound. I don't recommend anybody be bound unless they are completely like I had my goddaughter. I love her. I love you, Desi, Desi, Desi. I had to bind her till she was 18 because the child was so super powerful. She could do anything she wanted to. She was mad and she cussed me. She loves me now. Strength has to be trained. And unfortunately, sometimes I think that's what Marlin was a training ground, but they were inhumane. Marlin will never admit that in their library, in their religion section, it's half Christian and half pagan. They deal with a lot of fire there. It used to be every 3 weeks someone's house would burn. The fire hydrants all black capped in certain people's around certain people's houses. So you knew you were probably going to lose a house. They've got a black did have a black cap in front of the library, and I think it's sad because they're always put there just in case. And you'll see Marlin has a very high suicide rate. Nobody gets murdered in Marlin, they get suicided. A lot of young black men have died on those railroad tracks, and that is so damn sad. Because even though Marlin's 80% black, it's still 20% redneck, Masonic bastards. And I don't have anything against Masons either. I just have something against corrupt Masons. They found a good deal with our kind. They could make money off of us. They could use us without us even knowing it and then leave us high and dry because they had to keep us poor so that we did not get out of their control. And they forget that was what their oath was from the beginning when they were the Knights of Templar, was to be ready to protect when the awakening began. They were to they were to protect the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is many things. Besides representing the woman, it also represents knowledge. It represents the veil coming off, and the chalice held the blood, so it held the bloodline. See, Hitler thought all the chosen were going to be blonde hair, blue eyed. Wrong. I have found the most beautiful, gifted children of every creed, color, and handicap, in fact. They've overcome, they were meant to show and make aware. I have seen parents that actually see into their children gifts that aren't there, and that's hard to tell them that it's not there. And some of their gifts, you don't get them all at once. They stagger, and unfortunately, I went through it by myself, and I had no knowledge and no place to turn to for knowledge. So I stayed so scared, but I never doubted my sanity. I would go into Walmart and I would freeze up because I feel everybody's pain, everybody's energy. And so I had to start going at night. And I found now that a lot of empaths do. They were going at night, and then Walmart screwed us over and started closing at 11. And we have a tendency of either being up or waking up between 2 and 4 every night. If you feel that little throbbing in the top of your head, it's not a pain, but it's just a boom, boom. That I call a download. That is new knowledges being downloaded to us because there's no reason I should know about quantum. But I do. I know about herbs. I know about rocks. I know about healings. I know all kinds of metaphysics. But I invented I call it witchy brew that stopped aging. And even though a lot of these people are really good at manifesting, I haven't seen many of them that can make their hair blonde, their eyes blue, and their height go away just by willing it away. Now I wish I hadn't, but I did. Always want to be one of those cute little blondes that everybody did things for. Well, kind of like being the big old tall redhead that everybody listened to. Now, bad parts. We can't grow our nails. And artificial ones come right off. And most of the reasons that I have stopped doing my broadcast is because I don't handle germs very well, and I got H. pylori bacterial infection when I lived over at Scott and White Hospital. And being say we're too stupid to catch it when a little RN caught it right away and let it go too long because neurological problems for a while, a lot of herniated bleeding, and all, well, 90% of my teeth snapped at the gum line and broke off. I had good strong teeth until I got to why we don't handle bacteria real well. We can handle anything and we regenerate really well, but our teeth are very, very delicate as it is. Just like my back, I have over 100 breaks in my back. I had 36 surgeries. I've lived 7 deaths, and I'm here. I'm not afraid of death because I've gone there so much, and I am a portal for others that are going there. Safe passage. Um, Jeremy lived more in the universe than as an earth seed. It was a star seed, earth seed, earth mother, earth nature, everything around me is about the earth and conserving the earth, the animals and the plants. My son, what is? He's living in stars. People wonder why I don't. Besides the fact that I still have not got my ID, even though I earned it, I got it, but it never came in the mail. I've never been able to go see my son or even have one of those video chats that I want to have because I haven't got the damned ID. But they can't hold it much longer because it's time. Brain fog will go, his clarity will come. He is a majorly strong energy. Both of my sons are in different ways. I was always scared of the Cain and Abel type thing because they're they pull. Neither one of them are on my path of. I had Jeremy where he was doing a lot better with music and painting. You know the frequencies and everything because they do work. Whenever you have problems, get on the frequencies. Use the headphones off of YouTube. If for some reason you put those frequencies on and they make you feel uncomfortable, get them off. They're they're not good frequencies. It means they're probably planted bad. Anyway, I hope I've given you a little bit of insight of who and what I am. I will be, like I said, showing my old YouTubes, and I want you, after each one on my podcast, tell me how long ago was it? You'll be surprised. If by any chance I have switched to Spotify because they have a good monetary program, and I am so sick of being poor. If my knowledge has helped you in any way, help me. I'm not, the deal, you don't charge for your healings and everything. They don't stick if you don't. If you don't get paid or honored, the healings will not stay. Just like even certain knowledges, things like I don't even do stocks, but I'd give stock tips and they always paid. My friends used to get me to go to the damn gambling houses knowing I didn't gamble because I bring luck. But after there was no reward for being put to it, it ended. Their luck would end as my going with them. That's just what it is. So, I mean, I'm great. I'm not ever going to go back into Let's Welcome Carla. Because what happens is I just quit. No second chances. Because if I'm going to work with you and be sick for a while, it's not a permanent sickness, no. It's still sick. Then who's going to pay for my way of life while my big way of life here at school while I recuperate? Zena won't. She don't pay for nothing. Zena is a severely empathic dog, by the way. Uh, the other day we were leaving and Zena just I've never seen her like this. She's she was fighting to go. I mean, fighting, ripping, tearing to go. She does not do that. We were only gone a few minutes, but when we got back, there was an ambulance and a fire truck here. She sensed something was about to happen. So she is a pain in my ass. She's not Hooch. She never will be Hooch. And I'm afraid I'll never love again. I know I probably won't ever laugh again. But she is a good dog. Anyway, like I was saying, without donations, I want my mouth fixed. I am not the same Carla with that. I cannot even be comfortable in front of a camera because of this. It's not me. Yeah, I had a big old gaping gap in my tooth and everything, and it's still there, but the whole other tooth broke. I'd like to pretend that I'm just still the same old Carla, but I'm not. I've been really damaged, Lisa Hooch. And just to show you what I mean, for all that you have given to me, may it come back to you times three immediately until my baby returns to me. So would it be? Every day I say that prayer. Every day. Three more after that, you're going to have bad, bad, bad. And it can be stopped. Make me happy. Give me my damn dog back. You didn't save him. You stole him. And that makes my karma purely effective. And unfortunately, the way that works is since you stole my love, the higher powers will probably take something or someone that you love. Can't pull it back after you throw it out there either. All you can do is make it right. Everybody anywhere knew that Hooch was my life. He went everywhere with me. I wouldn't even go into the hospital because I would not leave him. They had to force me. I had to have a freaking stroke attack to go. So I know you think that you're giving my dog all this wonderful home and life, and love. If it was your child and someone felt that they could give your child a better life, so they took your child, would it make you feel any better? Would it make it right? Would you want to cut their throat? I rest my case. And as long as I spend so many hours obsessing with it, and all I do when I'm like this is I'll go through and I'll research every player in the game. I will find out your weaknesses. I will send you, just like I went right to Mr. Tim's house that day. And the way I feel about it, if I was in the wrong, they would have arrested me by now because I've gone terrorizing everybody. I write nasty letters to Councilwoman Zoe Grant daily because I know they're in collusion together, as they are all on committees together, every one of them. I know that a bank president or vice president has no rights being the treasurer on at least three nonprofits and having the donation sent to his house. Not to mention all those cash donations at all of the adoption events that they do not list. I know that the city and the little pound worker are getting something out of it. I know that they claim that they make less than 50,000 a year, and yet, shit, they probably make that in a month. And they don't have a shelter to pay for. They don't buy the dog food. They supply shots, they said, and health care, they said. It'll all be in the audit. And the other lady doesn't show up anywhere right. I just did backward searches all over the place. She tries to say she has, and she hasn't. The one that I see is my sister. She's got a beautiful voice. She's got a greedy pockets. She's got the house that she uses as her address and as her business here in Temple, and it is owned by the city. And the address of the so-called rescue, 2 hours away in Thornton, I called the sheriff's office. Deputy says, nope, there's no rescue out there, nothing at all. So, sister or not, you're going to end up going down. Rescue does not check out with an EIN number or an assumed name certificate. No DBA. And you don't show up on those records either, as in property owner or business owner. I know my business because Marlon trained me well. I know the law. I know how they manipulate the law. And I see this auction that you're about to have as your getaway out of town. You have to. But IRS is everywhere, by the way. There is enough internet proof that I have taken pictures of, documented, and all of the city's officers' lies that I have proof of and documented and stashed at 5 different locations. So don't bother trying to hurt my ass because the law will come out. I know that the judge, Kathleen Person, and the banker, Jake Herndon, married man, spent a lot of time on those committees together, and she sure as hell did him a big ass favor by falsifying that clerk. She signed her last name Rosin. Everybody knew my PTSD had pushed me over the brink, and they were taking advantage of it. Proof's in the pudding, baby. All it took at first was to get me my damn dog back. Now you've caused the war. Now I want the home I lost because of you, the job I lost because of you, my Delaware coin, one of a kind, I lost because of you. That thing was going between 43,000 to $2 million at auction. That's on y'all. Being in the hospital for a week, $50,000. Wandering the streets and living in homeless shelters for 2 months. Being molested on the streets, being abused, being treated like nothing on those streets. That's on you. And I can guarantee you that's priceless. So, my game plan is I wrote the city attorney and sent her all kinds of proof. I don't blame her because she was not even in office when this happened. But it is her responsibility to take a claim to their legal department. I've waited too long. I want a settlement offer. I want my dog. And you can't give me the respect I lost from all of these people because you call me an animal abuser, animal cruelty. You cannot ever give me that back. The death threats that I got. I've taken care of more animals than you can even imagine. If I haven't heard from you by tomorrow afternoon, because that's Friday, we got a long weekend, and I actually want to go to the Bell County auction and find me a house. If I haven't not heard from you by noon tomorrow, and this is nationwide, then we will go ahead and file every misconduct case we can. And we will start with going to the DA along with Homeland, the IRS, Attorney General's Office, and the FBI to investigate allegations of organized crime, money laundering, money fraud, wire fraud. We understood. And I want Morales arrested for perjury. I want Dustin, cousin Mo, arrested for animal cruelty. And firing a gun in the city limits. I know that in Dallas, it's a big, big charge. You need to teach your police chief laws. And elder abuse, Johnny's nearly dead because your officers neglected him after we reported it to you 5 times in one weekend. 72 years old, paralyzed, left in a bed for someone to come in and bully constantly. They cut off his water. They cut off his electricity. 72 years old in bed. And y'all let them. He nearly died. He's been in the hospital ever since. How long is that? 6 weeks? And that's on y'all. Because y'all knew that the Rodriguezes had cut off the electric and the water to that house with a 72-year-old bedridden man in there. And that they would send their big old burly son in law on a daily basis to harass and threaten that old man until I sent Stephen over there. That little short shit took care of that big old burly guy. He's guarded the house all this time. My little vengeance demon. And by the way, I gave him enough time. I really don't want to give him any more time. Did you know that those people that y'all were allowing to do that old man that way, they are committing tax fraud in 5 locations here. They claim homestead on these places they own and disability exemptions on places they've owned for years. But guess what? They don't live here. California, North Carolina, and Virginia, y'all are the most corrupt or idiotic government I've seen next to Marlin. So I haven't seen y'all kill people yet, but you may suicide them yet. Who knows? But I'm not suicidal. So if it comes up that I'm committed suicide, don't believe it. Too angry to be suicidal. Peace out. Many blessings. Massive organism from Carla Holland Strange. And where the hell did my? Oh, it's back there. Do you like my logo? That way you know it's only me because nobody else can create it. It's one of a kind, just like my coin. So, Rodriguez, you really should have given me my stuff back. You're the ones that stole my coin. And y'all let them. In fact, I believe that Morales was in on that. Peace out.